Johnson chose the Cards over Georgia, Ole Miss, and many others. But the Cards did miss out on 4-star point guard Rocket Watts, who committed to Michigan State over the weekend, but they have 5-star Aiden Agahan coming for an official visit this weekend during Louisville Live and the Florida State game. And last but certainly not least, the Louisville soccer team improves to 5-1-1 on the year with a 1-0 win over Pittsburgh over the weekend. They will now take on Georgetown Tuesday at 4 in D.C. Keep it locked here. Middays with Marcus Maben is next. This is SportsCenter.
This is Marcus Maben, and you're listening to 93.9 The Ville from the OPC Services Studio.
That's his game. They don't get back. Hayward's look at this steal. Here's the steal. 3-on-1. Alley-oop. Oh, my goodness. Marcus Maben. And you certainly are in love with him here in Louisville. Marcus in the open floor. Hops incredible. Here comes Maben off the steal. Oh, my goodness.
Get up, get up, get up, get up. Let's get ready for Marcus Maben. You're about midway to the midday with Marcus Maben. And you can call in, I lay back and just listen to Marcus Maben. So sit back and relax and watch Maben. Break it down like this. Woo!
Broadcasting live from the OPC Pest Services Studio. Time for Middays with Marcus Maben on 93.9 The Ville. Now, here's Marcus Maben and Steve Rummage.
Welcome back. It's midday with Marcus Maben. 8150, 93.9 is the number, 93.9 is the station, and unfortunately, it's going to be one of those kind of mornings. Fortunately or unfortunately, it's going to be one of those kind of mornings. The commute was slow. The traffic was heavy. But we are here to explode. Steve Rummage in the building, Brian Hall in the booth.
It's good to have you guys out.
In the rain, in the sleet, in the snow, in the hail.
It was a weekend. It was a weekend where I think we gained some answers, a few more questions, had a little bit to celebrate. A lot of emotions over the weekend, but today should be interesting.
Emotions are heavy. Conversation is real. The phone lines will be open. 8150, 93.9 is the number, 93.9 is the station, and 3831 93.9 is the text line. Disclaimer time. People, we are not here. Contrary to popular belief, we are not here to make you feel better. We are not here to pacify the mob, pacify the masses. We are here to make it happen. We are Made for the Ville YouTube channel. People, subscribe right now. You can see it. You can hear it. You can feel what the studio life is like. Go to youtube.com. Type in "We Are Made for the Ville." Describe "We Are Rolling." Brian Hall in the booth. Brian, what is going on, my man?
Well, first off, the Louisville game I'm not real sure about. Then the Vikings game I'm not real sure about. But I am sure about one thing, and that is the Lions beating the Patriots last night. And I wanted to give you a congratulations.
Yep.
I was sitting in O'Charlie's last night having dinner, and they had the game on up in the corner. And I look up, and I see this Lions player just nail this
A little too much
Patriots
celebration.
running back, and
Yeah, a
he
little
gets
too much
up and he
celebration.
looks at the camera and kind of gives it a little, and then he turns around and it says Reeves Maben, and
He was
I'm like, I send Marcus a text. I was like, don't bring that in here. And
Well,
it was just pretty cool. It was pretty cool seeing Jalen Reeves actually getting out there, playing a lot, and pulling off a win against the Patriots.
Normally I wouldn't do this, but
No, you were going to do this from the moment I told you, Steve.
But Marcus, I get a phone call. Because this happens, and I look at my wife. We're watching the game. We're laying there. I look at her. Jalen, it wasn't just that play either. He played a good game. He played a good game all around last night.
Really?
Yeah, because I watched him. I watched him because I told my wife, I said, man, if he can get one here, man, this would be big. And I kind of feel like I've taken on a little bit of responsibility with Jalen.
Go ahead and say it, Steve.
No. Hey, look, I've got a newborn and I pay child support on another one. So no, absolutely, I'm not. No,
adoptions here.
Y'all can ha, whatever. I don't care. Absolutely not. But I do care for his well-being and his sports livelihood. But so, anyways, he makes the big hit. He kind of gets up. You could tell he likes to celebrate, but he's not a big celebration guy,
right?
Because it was kind of a middle, just like yeah, Yeah. So I told her, I said, watch my phone. Well, nothing happened. I said, well, nothing. Okay.
This thing on?
Yeah. So I get a phone call later. I'm like, well, he must be out. Figure out, local spot, whatever.
Right.
So I'm like, cool. Phone rings later. Hey, man, tell me my boy's playing good out there tonight. Yeah, Marcus, he's playing good, man. They're busting up the Patriots. I was like, man, that's a big play. I said, you see that play? No. No, I fell asleep. You've been asleep while your son's playing the Patriots on Sunday Night Football?
Missed the whole game, Steve.
Golly.
Missed the whole game.
But I do enjoy, I will say this selfishly, I do enjoy when my heart perks up when you say, no, I seriously didn't see it. I'm like, I get to be the one to deliver the news, man. Where I'm like, dude, he read it right. It's bam. He gets up, and then the announcers are like, Jalen Reeves-Maven is the prototypical, Patricia linebacker. Like, I mean, it was beautiful.
Okay, Steve. Okay, that is 7 minutes. Way too much
Cowboys sucking
conversation outside of what we need to talk about it. You know it. I know it.
I know, baby.
I don't.
Let's get to it. Chris Mack, baby. What about him?
Oh my God, Steve!
What about him,
Steve? You are going. Do you know right now there is over 1,000 people streaming and listening to what we have to say about the University of Louisville and the sport that is college football. Steve, what is your first morning emotion when you hit this studio about it? I say what happened in the game last night. Or Saturday night, or Saturday morning, actually, and Steve Rummage says what?
It was pathetic. Yeah. It was absolutely pathetic. There is entirely talent on that field wearing red and black and white to lose 27-3 to freaking Virginia.
First, foremost, second most, third most, whatever.
Yeah.
Entirely too much. We'll take a comment out of the Jaquay Savage tweet dictionary. Well, part of it. There is way too much talent to lose that way.
Yeah.
First guess.
No, to lose.
To lose that way. No. Anybody, it's football. The Bills beat. I'm not going there. I try not to, but I agree with what you're saying. Mm-hmm. Now the second conversation is how and why. Do you want to go how first? Do you want to go why? Because how is kind of recapping the game. Here's the thing. When I opened the show, I said it's not our job to make you feel better. It's our job because we know a lot and we have a kind of a long-term view of sports, a process view of sports. But here's the thing. When you're getting to the hows and the whys, everybody who's been in school, listen, smart people, this show's for you. Not so smart people, just listen to our voices and enjoy the ambiance. What do? When there's a problem, you apply the scientific method. Right? I mean, you look for your empirical data, compile it, come up with a solution. Mm-hmm. What we're going to talk about today is now we have true data. There's data, there's stats, and there's narratives. Mm-hmm. Stats come from data, right? Data takes a third of the season to have a solid setting to make determinations. Narratives, that can come later.
Mm-hmm.
Let's deal with the data part of the game. Do you have a quarterback on this team that can win?
Not one that we've played. So, I mean, I think I don't.
And I'm doing this on purpose. I'm not particularly going quarterback. I'm saying we're gonna do the entire. We're gonna compile the data of this football team so we can come up with intelligent conversation moving forward.
Yeah, no, I don't. From what I've saw so far, absolutely not. I don't. Malik doesn't have it. We knew that. I mean, I'm just being bluntly honest there.
Right.
We knew that. So we thought, hey, he deserved the shot from what had happened. And I thought, he could maybe beat Virginia because Virginia sucks so bad.
Right.
I thought, maybe he could do something there. He can't.
Right.
So that's not too surprising to me.
Right.
Puma, for whatever reason, I don't know.
Give me your best guess, because I don't want today to be that show. I don't know what, but this, like give me what you see that says he can get it done or he cannot get it done. Because all this conversation we have about it, what's going to happen moving forward is based on something you've either seen or something you believe, like the psychology of an athlete.
Well, the problem is everything I'm going to say today, I'm going to come back to this statement right here. I mean, he's got the ability.
Okay, well, let's start off with your statements.
Okay, with as far as
Puma pass as the quarterback.
I mean, the offense don't look good. Offense don't look good with him. Don't really look good with Malik.
How much of the time does the offense look good with them? Because here's the thing: a touchdown is the end of the play, or the end of the possession.
Yeah.
A punt is the end of the possession.
Right, which is what we've done.
Right.
Majority.
Right. What leads to the punt?
Not getting a first down.
What I'm asking is are we talking about lack of moving the ball on the run game, lack of moving the ball in the pass game? Are we talking about play calling? Are we talking about Puma missing wide receivers?
We don't complete passes. My son had a game. Okay, now I've went back and I've rewatched the game, but I was able to, and I'm kind of glad I was able to. I was able to listen to Paul Rogers call the game.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I consumed majority of the game. And to hear Paul Rogers, who I've got like so much respect for, it's insane.
Right.
Okay. To hear Paul Rogers kind of start to almost, and I don't want to put words in his mouth,
right,
but you could almost kind of, not really Bronx cheer, but almost sarcastically go, hey, here comes another running back.
Right.
I mean, here's another one. He was making jokes, literally. Paul Rogers was almost making jokes during the game, like, well, now we're going to get to see Trey Smith for a play. Let's see how long this lasts.
Right.
I mean, it was like, that's a problem.
100% agreed with his Bronx cheer.
Yes, I did too. It got funny. It has got to the point where this football team has become funny. Like, where you almost say, I'm so mad, I don't know what to do except just laugh.
Have you ever seen it before? See, no, that was rhetorical and that was an unfair question.
Okay.
I've seen it too many times before. Like I said, I've seen a guy, again, in any sport, I've seen a pitcher go from an ace to I can't throw the ball anywhere near the strike zone.
Right.
I've seen a free throw shooter who's 80% go 10. I've watched a wide receiver all of a sudden, get the worst case of hands on the planet. I've seen it.
Yes.
Is it stoppable? Is this bleeding? Is this stoppable? How much of this is coach sending you into this spiral, not stopping the bleeding?
Okay, yes, it is stoppable. It's very stoppable with as far as the talent on the field, okay? But here's where we're at. and I'm going to try not to jump ahead too far. But here's where we're at. I just don't know any other way to do this.
Yeah, there's no sense in being delicate about any of this.
Okay.
Even the structure of a show.
Sure.
Just, yeah.
And that's what I'm more talking about. The structure of where you were trying to go.
No, we'll let this one go through.
Bobby has something over, I think, us as fans right now where we go, as angry as we are, we're like, yeah, but even in a bad year, he's probably going to win 7 or 8. And that's why I think I struggle to let him go. And I'm not saying
let him go psychologically.
Yeah,
or give him a pass on what's going on right now.
Because let me just say this right up front, so that way we know where I stand on this. He's not in position to be midseason fired. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that.
Jesus, is that what people are saying?
Yeah, and I'm not doing that. Now, I will say this. As aggravated, and Mark Ennis, I know Mark Ennis listens to us a lot on his way in. Mark, I will apologize to you when you get here because I didn't even tell you about it. And Saturday, after the Western Kentucky game, when he was talking about Vince may need to start checking some back channels, I was like, Mark, come on, dude. I was in my car, and I'm like, Mark. I mean, I was literally driving, going, Mark, come on, dude. Like, not on the post game show, like. No, we don't need to check back. Like, I'm feeling that type of way about it. I totally agree. And I'll apologize to Mark when he gets here.
Well, since
I totally agree. You start checking back channels because the point is, and Drew said it, I think, as good as you could say it this morning, he's not in position to be fired during the summer or during the season. But, yes, I think now there is a little bit of a target at the end of the year.
You sped up. Yeah. The process of having coach conversation. You know it. I know it. This is a conversation.
Yeah.
You speed up the process when you kneel at the one.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Mm-hmm. It's one of those, in my opinion, Coach Petrino, lost 4 games this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
He lost the equivalent to 4 games.
Sure, I
in
get
one
what you're
weekend.
trying to say. Yeah.
You didn't just lose in Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
You put a ugly display, which is almost 2 losses, right? But I'll call that one, right?
Yeah.
Listen, your rival performed well.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very well.
It's September.
Your rival had a great win.
Mm-hmm.
That's a fact.
Good win.
Great. That's a great win, Steve. Don't do that.
Okay win.
We'll talk about it later.
No, I won't. You can. I'm not talking a second about them today.
Okay, that's two. That's 2 games.
Okay.
A coaching quote unquote rival, a guy your name is mentioned with often.
Sure.
Huge upset.
Mm-hmm.
The top upset of the weekend.
You said don't sugarcoat it. Purdue over Boston College.
Right.
Yeah.
And you got hurdled 3 times or twice.
Man, that just can't happen.
Right?
Yeah.
Right. Like those, regardless of it's like tournament selection. Some wins are just worth more. Public perception. I am Mr. Public Perception, national perception. I am watching a Buffalo Bills quarterback hurdle somebody and a guy make reference to when it happened in college this year.
Yeah.
I was praying they didn't say our name on that, but we all knew who that was being referenced to.
Yeah.
We tout the Donovan Mitchell does good on a national scale, national good looks and bad looks.
Yeah.
That was nationally a front page bad look.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
You sped up, the urgency, right?
Yeah.
So now, okay. So that's still data.
Yes. And the reason I think you keep saying data is because for a guy who says, Steve, you and Marcus y'all have said he's the guy. You said this. I think me and you talked the other day, and I think you had kind of, Saturday evening. And one of the points is, guy who just at the beginning of the year was like, Bobby sucks, he should be fired. You've got no, you had no
data,
no substance.
Yeah, your statistics. Here's the thing: like if you look up, like literally, if you look up the definition of data versus, stats, you'll see data is what you observe and what you collect, empirical data, and you take that data and you mush it all together, and then you come out with different kind of statistics. You can make your statistics say anything, you can reach for them. But your data 4 games into the year, I have not. Now I know that this is a bad or an off-track offensive unit.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah. Yes. No, I agree.
Your defense, while improved, still very like people use the cliche bend don't break.
Yeah.
Underwhelming.
Sure.
But sufficient.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm not even going to start the conversation of, okay, the defense is better. Are we going to give Bobby that credit? Because you're making it about Bobby, and I'm not. I'm making it about a football team right now, and the product as a whole you're seeing on the team. Your receiving has not improved, right?
Yeah.
Your running back by committee data has shown it is not working, right? Not only is it not working when you have a Trey Smith who obviously has not performed as well as you thought. When he trips in the backfield, that's double points against you.
Yeah.
Because when you take risks by saying, Trey, I'm going to put you back out there, but don't make me look bad.
Mm-hmm.
You make me look bad. You knew there was more of a risk.
Mm-hmm.
Now your criticism has a foundation. It has a base.
Yeah.
It's not I didn't want Bob back and now he's messing up. No, I'm not talking about narratives. Stats, data, narrative. Data says you're making a bad decision by rotating in running backs over and over again.
Yeah.
Puma pass substitutes into the game.
Yeah.
You run. Now, the result was a field goal. The result was not what you wanted it to be, right? You felt like you should have got a touchdown out of that, right?
Yeah.
Your data suggests you were making a bad decision because you weren't comfortable with Puma passing that ball.
Yeah.
And you weren't comfortable running anything creative on the line.
Yeah.
So even the advantages that you do have, you're showing you're not using them right now. And to his credit, he would listen to me saying this right now, and he would say, "You're right."
Yeah.
Anybody in the football world, over at the offices, at the pro scouts that are listening to it, they're saying you're right. It does not matter, if maybe it was the right play call, you know what I'm saying? But if the combination isn't there, you have to take the heat on this one, right?
Right.
And we could go player. We could go player-centric, but that's a whole nother conversation. You holding on to the ball is a player thing, right? But me putting you in the game when you have to hold the ball with 2 hands in close quarters, you can't be a running back.
Right.
I hate doing that.
Right.
I hate doing that.
Now,
go ahead.
No, but I want you to finish
I was gonna reiterate.
Yeah.
My eyeballs tell me you could have a play, you could have a talented running back, you could have it all drawn up, but if your running back has to hold the ball with 2 hands and try to make moves, anybody who knows the human body knows you can't make a bunch of moves when you're covering a football with 2 hands.
Yeah.
Very special. Only a few
Sure.
people on the planet can do that. Once you see that guy can't play on my team.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not playing on my team.
I know
He's
what you're
not
saying.
going to be my starting guy.
Well, I go back to everything you said just then. That is all facts that I put into this thought process. Okay, Bobby, and this is what I was starting off saying a minute ago. Bobby is like my dad right now, and I'm a child. I know my dad. I just believe my dad always figures it out. I don't know why. I mean, hey, look.
No, you know why? Because he's never had a bad start and finished on a 4 and
That's what I'm saying. I've watched. Okay, I'm just metaphorically and legitimately.
Yeah, trying to put
saying, I've watched mom and dad say, all right, man, we got, okay, we got to get the bills together, different things. It's November. And I get up on Christmas morning, and every Christmas, there was gifts there. Even when I was like, hey, maybe,
I don't know. Maybe
this is the year they ain't got it, man. You know what I'm saying? And they got it. My dad come through for me my mama did too, but I'm just using dad because Bobby. But my dad come through for me every year, and I say, okay, all right. Bobby, I always feel like, yeah, he'll get it together. Like, I mean, he'll get it together. A guy, Texter says, and we'll go through here. Give us a little time, and we'll rapid fire some of these texts. Yes,
because the phone lines, please sit tight. Text
because we're about to just open it up and let everybody come in with it. But the thing is Texter says, well, you were 0-3 a few years ago, and you finished that year off strong. Ended the season with a Marcus Maven prediction that Lamar is going to come back and win the Heisman and everything. He'd come back and you're big time. And here's the deal. That season, though, this is what worries me. Because in my deep down heart, okay, and we're all family here.
Right.
Okay. And so I think I can be honest with y'all when I'm upset and in my deep down heart, I look down and I say, or deep down in my heart, I say, I still think he's going to pull it together.
Right.
Like, I think that by the end of the year, I think it's going to be one of those things where you're going to be out there boat racing a Kentucky, and that's not a shot at Kentucky. I'll throw plenty shots later. That's not, but I'm giving them credit for how good they're looking right now.
Right.
I think you're going to be like, man, we're busting them, and you're looking good, and you finished the season strong. But 0-3 a few years ago. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Okay, I was going to say 0-3 a few years ago. You looked pretty good against Auburn. You scored almost 40 on Houston, who nobody knew how good Houston was. You took Clemson, who went to the national championship game right to the wire, and you was 0-3. Then you started to get things rolling. Is what's scaring me about this 2-2 is maybe for the first time, now it's Christmas Eve, and I'm watching my dad go, we don't have money. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and that's where, because now the Alabama thing is what Alabama is.
Is he so used to getting it together that it worries you that he feels like he can just keep on doing it this way?
He said after the game, my teams typically get better as the season goes on,
Right.
And that's where I'm at right now. I'm saying, yeah, we're 2-2, and I want everything in me wants to believe they're going to come out Saturday against Florida State. They're going to look good, and they're going to get on a run, and they're going to go down there.
Okay, what are you tapping into? Are you tapping into tapping into blind belief or historical belief?
Historical belief. This is what I've always saw happen with Bobby, or not always saw, but I mean sometimes they start good,
right?
But in seasons where they started very like, you get it rolling by the end of the year. Heck, them are the bowl games you usually win.
I'll say this is why I feel the emotion. Like I'm okay with you barking about being angry because you know that personnel for personnel, you have talent on the roster, right? But here's the thing. I kind of made this example. You ever watch the cartoons where one guy's chasing the guy and they're going in and out of doors down the hallway? It's a long hallway. There's doors on both sides.
Yeah.
And one guy's chasing the other guy and then all of a sudden they're going in and out of doors. And then the guy that was being chased is now doing the chasing, right? Bobby Petrino's offenses, right?
Yeah.
Are so one player centric. Like everything has to work together for it to work.
Yes.
Everyone has to work off each other. Just a drop pass in a Bobby Petrino offense is the equivalent to 2 drop passes in another offense.
Absolutely.
And it's always been like that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why he has really bad looking games and really good looking games. Like that's like a 3-point shooting team.
Yeah.
They can stink it up for 3 quarters. They can have a couple of bad games. They get it rolling.
Yeah.
But you know what? Every team needs 3-point shooters, right?
Yeah.
He's heavy. So here's the thing. I'm saying in my brain, he slims down the offense. He slims down the substitution. Sure. And I think those are the small clicks that get you rolling. And that's what I've seen him do before.
Yes.
That's why it got better. I think he overestimated a Jawan pass, right?
Yeah.
This is just what my data collection says to me, and people. The reason I'm ready for you to join us on the text line, join us on the phone line. In my opinion, the biggest thing that went wrong so far, he underestimated Jawan pass in live game full contact speed.
Yeah.
We heard Bobby all summer, and I said it. This was my biggest fear. You're too involved in speed and health.
You did say that. I'll give you that one. Yeah.
You barked at me for that one, too.
Yeah.
You, in my opinion, and it's not my opinion, it's a fact, but I'll let you people figure it out later on. He did not hit enough because all he said is things like, we got to get to the season healthy. We got to get to, those injuries kind of scarred him. I have the players. I have to get them here healthy, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now it's going full speed, full contact, full line, full hitting, full wide receiver checking. All the you forgot it was football. And I'm using that phrase. I think his biggest mistake is you not forgot, but you discredited the fact that it's violent and played it at real intense level. You kind of gave your players credit for knowing how to turn on the rough stuff.
Sure.
And I think they're out there trying to learn to execute under intensity that they did not have before.
That's a good point. I don't disagree with any of it, but I think you can also understand, and not so much, I'm more going back to the point you was making a minute ago about how he gets it together.
Mm-hmm.
I think you can also understand where I say, though, again, I'm going to keep going back to this reference. It's Christmas Eve and Dad's still saying we ain't got money. And
but it's the morning of Christmas Eve.
Yes. Yeah. There's time. But it's
like
look, but this 2 and 2
put it this
is
way.
Nothing.
It's the morning of Christmas Eve, and I see him putting on clothes. So that means there's still hope.
Yes.
Now, if he was sitting in Christmas Eve and I saw Dad pouring gin in the eggnog, and he really didn't have no gift, then I'm like, hey, Dad, no.
Yeah.
No. Listen.
I know.
I like eggnog too, but you can't put the gin in the eggnog.
I know. To say, man, you're not leaving. Okay.
Once the gin go in the eggnog, you're gonna be here.
And this 2 and 2 looks a lot worse than that 0-3 did.
Have got to get to the Bill Etzkorns and Sons Collision Center. Actually, Steve, let me just say that before I hit to this phone line. I heard Bill Etzkorns and Sons Collision Center is now a partner of Bob Valvano's show.
Yeah.
So that means they must be really happy with our partnership.
Absolutely.
Let that be a message to anybody else listening to this show. People who are happy, bring more business. Congratulations, Bill Etzkorns and Sons Collision Center, Bob Valvano. Get that thing rolling.
Definitely.
Let me see who's been on the phone the longest. Let's go with our number one. We owe it to him, Lawrence. Yep. Lawrence, fire away, my man.
I got 3 things I got to say, Marcus.
You got to be quick. We got a big line here.
All right. 1, the season's over. Start Jordan Travis because he's the future of the team.
Okay.
2, Brent Venables, please save this program. 3, we still got David Johnson.
I love you.
Lawrence, I appreciate the call. Listen,
I love Lawrence.
Listen, I'm not here to make you feel better, but by the end of the show, you probably do, and we just can't help it. That's good energy.
I love Lawrence.
We got to keep it rolling. Corey from Atlanta, thanks for joining me on Midday with Marcus Maben, my man.
Hey, guys, great show.
Thanks.
I heard you all talking about Jacquay Savage and the tweet that he sent out, and my response to that was, so you're saying that the ingredients and the recipe are there, but the ingredients are there, but the recipe and the cook aren't working it right, and he favored it. So it's about combinations. I think that when you go back to the fall, now Jalen was not fall, excuse me, spring practice. Jalen was hurt. Dez was number 1 primary receiver. Maybe that'll help the offense. I don't know, because for a reason the chemistry between Juwan and Jalen. And Jalen, I don't know what's going on with him. He's not making it happen. There's no tenured positions in football. So if you're going to be willing to rotate the quarterbacks, you got to be willing to rotate the receivers in terms of who's number 1, who's number 2, what have you. The second thing is the running backs. We got to get more. We got to get more carries for Hall, because it's like you see the speed.
Mm-hmm.
put him in there. You got to make it happen for him because I don't think otherwise. It's really now or never. If we don't get it done, we're going to lose more than just the game against Florida State. We're going to lose recruits. We're going to lose the fan base. I mean, creativity in the offense. It's just so much, man, that I'm frustrated. I'm not giving up on the season, but it's just so frustrating to see all that talent and the work that the guys have put into it. And it's like, Bobby, you've coached a long time, and you haven't figured out how to put the combination together to make this thing go. It doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, Corey, listen, I appreciate the call. And that's a fact.
Well, Corey's saying what I've been barking on here, I think, the last couple weeks is I think you're playing some guys wrong positions.
Yes.
I think you're playing guys you're
I
playing
think he
too
knows
many
that.
guys.
I think he knows that.
Well, if he knows it and he's not doing it, then that pisses me off.
See, but this goes back to my point. I think you need data. I think he's had 4 games, and you basically or you've had your games to figure it out.
Would you agree with me that Florida State, you should get every ounce of desperate Bobby Petrino coach? Like, we should get the best Bobby Petrino that's I mean, would you agree with me saying that would be fair to say this Saturday I should see everything you got, dude? So if you go out and get busted Saturday, and I'm not pushing it back again because I said Virginia is bad enough, but I mean, you should be pulling out everything you got. You should be this week. You should be you should be doing what should have happened, I think, 2 weeks ago. Say, look, all jobs, we're moving you here. We're moving you here.
Right.
You got to play here. This is what, I think that would be fair to say.
There's still a fine line between looking at a panic situation.
And I don't know why I've got like 3 tweets, or people saying like, we're seeing that there's so much hope. I don't think we've said like, oh, this thing's about to get turned around. I mean, I think my gosh, if we're the ones out here going, we're the most hopeful guys on the planet. If we're the ones out here going, I mean, it could happen. I mean, we have historical references where it has happened, but I don't know if it's going to happen. Then
right. I mean, listen.
I don't think we're preaching up that
okay.
everything's good.
Guy who doesn't think we have the talent, you can call in and text in and say we don't have the talent, and you can check out, right? If you don't believe there's enough talent on this team to win, you can check out, and I'll see you next season. That's fine, because you're basically sticking to what you believe, right? The reason I can still talk about this team is because I can say you have 3 key positions with explosive players, right? All with fixable habits, right? And I don't mean Trey Smith or Jeremy Smith. I mean the younger players, right? I think Jawan Pass is an explosive player. I think he doesn't trust. I think he has to learn to play at the speed of real full tilt football here, right?
Right.
I think he came in under comfortable circumstances. He thought it was going to be easy because the action he played in was not intense action.
Yeah.
Right. I think his eyes come down too quick. He one receiver, maybe a half another receiver, and he's looking to run.
Yeah.
When we look at the tape, the offensive line is doing an excellent job blocking a lot of possessions. His receiver, some plays are not designed to be open in 1 second.
Right.
It takes time. But what you have to do is trust your line's going to be there and fill that's
the line has progressively gotten. They've not gotten better. I will say that. In the middle, they've not.
I know.
I don't think they've been crap, but I will say the middle of that line is. And again,
okay, good first half, in my opinion.
Yeah,
good first halves, bad seconds.
Okay.
When receiving, okay, not receiving, running, might good, get bad later, right? To me, I think that's 3 and outs. Let's start fixing something. Let's start changing things. Let's start swapping it. I think it gets bad because of lack of continuity, in situations. Bobby's trying to create something by going with different kind of plays. Maybe stuff we're not as comfortable with because that stuff feels like it's not working.
Right.
And keep in mind, out of all these conversations, we go back to saying Coach Petrino.
Yeah.
Right. So it's not a bailout situation. But when you have the talent, you can say it can get better. You tell me I don't have the talent. That's why my hope, my not even hopefulness. They're good. He's a good coach. I mean, are you just saying he's not even a good coach?
Yeah.
Like
right. No, I know what you're saying.
One year, you had Lamar Jackson and all the other years that he had top offenses were just you got lucky with quarterbacks. Like, is that what you think?
No, I mean, I don't think. No, I don't.
Right. That's what I'm saying. The guy who wants to argue what we're saying, this thing can be improved a lot quicker than a lot of other situations. Teams that need to get more players, we're not in that boat. Who we got waiting? Sorry. Todd, thanks for joining us on 93.9, my man. Fire away.
Morning, y'all.
Morning.
First of all, sorry about the boys, Steve. My
Thanks.
Niners lost our starting QB. So my Sunday wasn't all that good. Let's talk about this. First of all, I'm not going to put anything on the defense because the defense Saturday held Virginia to 6 points in the first half. So I'm not putting that on them. I'm putting this in two places. Right now, the thing I'm most worried about is team unity and having a quarterback controversy. You go and you have first and goal from the 4. You bring in a passing quarterback, and then you run the ball 3 times. There's no RPO. There's no surprise. You're trying to run the ball 3 times. I don't understand that. We didn't use tight ends at all. And I'm sitting here going, what in the world is this doing to the team? You see Malik out there. He starts the game.
Right.
He goes.
We understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
Well, what is this doing in the locker room? Because, you're looking out here and saying Bobby doesn't know really what he's doing because, he's got Malik in the game. Malik starts. He doesn't do well, throws a pick, things like that. And then he puts Puma in. Puma comes in, really doesn't do anything as well. And so the team members sitting there going, well, wait a second, if I'm put in a position to where, I'm supposed to do something and I don't do it, then, look what's happening to the leader on the team out on the offense. I'm really very surprised because in this situation, and it started against, Western. We only, a 3-point win against Western at home. And the only reason that was because of a missed field goal, didn't go to overtime. So, I'm sitting here and I'm wondering to myself, I'm saying, why in the world are we having these type of problems, when Bobby is supposed to be, and I believe he is because I've seen him in his first time at Louisville.
Right.
I've seen him since he's been here. He's an offensive-minded coach. And I'm not understanding why, there's certain things going on. Why didn't?
Well, let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. Is he an offensive-minded coach who's just making bad personnel decisions? Like to sum it up.
I really think so. But when the only time you see Crum out on the field is from a penalty, and you're not seeing your big tight ends. Being able to go out there and receive the ball, be able to get into the secondary, things like that. I'm not understanding why that is happening.
Todd, listen, I appreciate the call. I know what you're saying.
Well, he said one thing. He said, I agree with a lot of what he said, different stuff. But the one thing he said I didn't agree with was that Puma come in and didn't do anything. Well, here's my problem with that. We get an interception. Puma comes in. A couple good passes.
You mean after the running that he didn't get in?
What do you mean?
When Puma got the ball on the goal line.
No, that's what I'm talking.
Okay,
I'm talking we get a pick. Puma comes in, makes a couple big plays. You or not big plays, but makes a couple plays, moves you down the field. You get to the goal line, and then you just run the ball. And
wait a minute, because maybe I'm wrong. We get the interception.
Yeah.
Puma comes in on the goal line and they run it 3 times.
Yeah.
And after that, he made some good passes.
Made some good passes.
Right.
Yes. That's sorry.
Yeah.
We're saying the same thing,
Right.
just different. So I'm like, I thought.
See, people are just skipping over that so easy.
And I thought that was a huge point. I mean, what if you let Puma? Why not? Why not let Puma? Because I do agree with what Todd said there. You get to the goal line, you run the little play action. He hits a tight end. All of a sudden, now everybody's going, okay, all right, Puma. Then Puma comes in the next drive, and all of a sudden hits a few big plays.
I'm the same guy that begs for the run, though. But I wasn't begging for a slam, right?
Wow, that was crap.
Not only am I not begging for slam, I'm not begging for. We've learned there's a running back on that team that can jump over the pile or speed to the corner.
Yeah, or run back then if you're going to do that.
Okay, so what do you think if I say Bobby Petrino? Let's just say this. Let's say Coach Petrino failed his team with the substitutions and everything else.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Was right on.
I think they did on that. Especially on that because it changes the game.
Okay. Let's just say overall. Yeah. Let's say the offense is in the right position, right?
Yeah.
Let's say your thing is right. You need to change the hierarchy of the wide receiver depth chart, right?
Mm-hmm.
You need to flip the running back chart, right?
Yes.
Are we going to say that if Bobby doesn't do that, if Coach Petrino doesn't do that, then he's being too stubborn?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, yeah, yes. Oh, I mean, that's not my fault. I mean,
no, because listen, I almost feel like you can end the show when you make a statement like that. Like, listen, like out of all the things that we have issue with, right?
Mm-hmm.
Once you make bad substitution decisions, it forces you to change the way you make the play calls because you have certain levels of trust in some people, you know.
Yeah.
And is there somebody who can like help you with that? Is there somebody that with a strong enough personality to say,
yeah, Paul Petrino. Go hire him back.
Joe, thanks for joining us on 93.9, my man. What's on your mind?
Steve, you hit it right on the head, buddy.
Yeah.
I mean, see, to me, just like you just said, man, Marcus, if Bobby could make a couple substitution changes and all that, he would have already done it, man. Because my thing is, all the data you guys keep talking about, it's already out there. They look terrible the last 2 weeks going into Virginia. So to me, when you go to Virginia, say, all right, guys, this week during practice, whoever's the best player, you're sticking through the whole game. Now, granted, you do get some substitutions for rest. I get that. But let me give you this. In the call before said it. The Bobby Petrino, I run on the goal 3 times right up the middle. He does a play action, throws it to a tight end, and has the quarterback, roll out and get the pylon. The Bobby Petrino I know on 3rd and 2 in the middle of the field doesn't toss it back 3 yards to the slumbering running back we have to get a first down.
Yeah.
A lot of that is, guys, when you look at coaching, you go back to the first game. We had, 4 times where there was 12 people on the field. Saturday, a guy kneeled the ball at the 1-yard line. That's coaching, gentlemen. And again, I do agree about the defense. The defense, they're trying to do what they can do.
Yeah, they've not been bad. Yeah.
2 times you get left over. Why? If you look at the replays, the guys aren't even looking at the person they're trying to tackle. You're taught that day one. Always look at what you're tackling.
So you're saying it's bad coaching on defense too?
No, I think the defense, you can't really blame it because the offense is so pathetic, man.
Let me ask you this: Do you give Bobby Petrino credit for an improved defense? Because I remember you charged him for the bad defenses. Do you give him credit for improved defenses too?
I mean, it's 4 games in. I mean, I guess I give him credit for that.
I mean, overall, that was very. Go ahead.
Well, I'm talking about he hired Van Gorder, which, I mean, I think the defenses look better. I give you that, Marcus. But my thing is the offense is terrible. And to me, look at the coaching of the offense, like you said, you guys, he rotates running back after running back. How could any running back in that offense get any rhythm? After 1 or 2 plays, he brings in another running back. You got a guy who tells us about Jawan Pass all spring, all summer, and the offense is going to be better. and you can't even keep the guy in for more than a game and a half before you put another guy in.
Did you agree with the substitution?
I mean, I guess, dude, because I think both those quarterbacks look like they have it. To me, if I'm Bobby Petrino right now, dude, this is my personal opinion. If you don't believe in any of those two quarterbacks, which it doesn't seem like he does because he keeps rotating them, I would go in. I would put Jordan Travis in right now. Play one game, one pass, or whatever. So I guess that counts as one game. These next 3 games, dude, I would put that kid out there and let him roll. And I would get a running back that you're solid with, whether it's Dave Williams, Colin Wilson, whatever, one of those guys out there,
right?
And you stick with them these next 3 games and see where you're at and go from there. But you've got to get players in there that are consistently in there and can make a mistake without being yanked every other play.
Listen,
at the end of the day, that's all I got.
Joel, I appreciate the call.
Yeah.
Here's the thing: you can't have it both ways. You say your quarterback ain't got it, but Bobby Petrino didn't coach him, you know, or either the player has it already done. When you say the guy takes a knee on the 1 yard line, right? That's coaching. But when he gets the punt return for the touchdown, that's awesome.
Yeah.
You have to give credit or not give credit. You can't say Van Gort is doing his job now, and then in one breath say, well, defense, look better, but that's Van Gorder.
Yeah.
That's what I'm always weary of.
Yes.
And sticking to, oh, well, week 1 it was this. Because week 1, it wasn't – week 1, you had your penalties. So you're saying every time you get penalized from this point forward, no matter what it is, if it's a defensive penalty, if it's a special team, any penalties, oh, we saw that in game 1.
Yeah.
That was a substitution penalty.
Right.
And don't turn me into defend Bobby Petrino or defend offense or defend this guy. I don't want to defend him, but I want everybody's narratives to be solid. I want everybody's narratives to be fair towards him.
Yeah.
That's why I'm saying give him his props on the defense if you didn't, or if you gave him a hard time about the defense being bad, or you'll never figure out what's going on.
That's fair.
Cool guy Don, thanks for joining us on 93.9. Fire away.
All right, guys, I'm going to fire away. First of all, I think that Tutu Atwell ain't really had the ball since Alabama, and he looked good with the ball in his hand. We're supposed to be Speed City. We got to get it to him. I think that it hurt us by pulling Puma those 2 games in a row at halftime and in the second quarter. I think we should have just let them go in there and suffer through it and just took the losses if we had to kind of get some seasoning on them. And I was really looking at Nick Petrino, and I'm thinking back about Lamar, Puma, Reggie Bonifant, and I'm like, has he really helped with the passing game? Because a lot of those was athletic guys, but Lamar's still struggling to make certain throws right now in the NFL, and I'm kind of wondering if some of Jawan's struggles might have been, hampered by Nick Petrino's inexperience. So, and Bobby lost his father a few weeks before the season started. I know it got to be having some type of impact on what's going on in his head. He just seemed so down when he said the offense sucks, the team sucks. So, basically I was like, I felt bad for him, man. That's all I got.
No, listen, I appreciate the call. I would not dare, have that narrative creep into this football conversation. Like, I don't do I was playing for, I was playing through the sickness. I don't do those extra narratives. If we just talk about the product, like today is a data conversation, a product on the field conversation. I think data points to there's a difference between lack of intensity, and comfort with playing an intense game. If you look at all the best coaches, when they talk about the practice habits or what make the game.
Yeah.
I think, again, this is data. This is all summer. This is health. Got to be healthy. Conversation. Guys, a subliminal conversation, a subconscious conversation. He always talked about health as being the most important thing. We, as analysts of football, we say Louisville cannot take the depth, the hits at the depth positions.
Absolutely.
We got to keep these guys healthy, but you still got to be able to fight it out and scrap it out. I think this team is just lacking that. There's another thing. Let me run this by you real quick before I go to the phone lines. You ever seen what it looks like when, You have a team. Superstar goes to the pros, right? You have players on your teams that are friends with the pro superstars.
Okay.
That creeps right on in there.
Sure.
Because you think you're heir apparent.
Uh-huh.
Think there's any of that?
I mean, sure. I think you could have that. I'm not saying there is, but
I felt like that that's what happened to Dangadell.
Oh, that's definitely what happened with Dangadell.
Donovan Mitchell makes it.
Uh-huh.
You look at what you were compared to him.
Yeah.
He's the best. I'm just a little bit behind him in my mind.
And I checked him in practice.
Right.
And yeah.
You think there's a little Jawan pass?
Could be. Yeah.
I came in, Lamar was doing his thing. I came in, I was doing my thing. You know, you lack intensity.
Then that's why you go. Well, this is fun. Yeah. Jordan Travis.
Bet you didn't want to say that to me, did you? I know you didn't want to say that to me. Andy, thanks for joining us on 93.9, my man. Fire away.
Hey, gentlemen, how are you today?
Good, man. Well, I'm
good.
Yeah, it's okay.
You're as good as can be expected, right?
Yeah.
So, real quick, before I get into it, hey, Marcus, congratulations on your son's big win last night.
Yeah.
They looked good against my Patriots, and it hurts my soul, but your son played very well. Saw his name. It was very nice to see a local legend son representing on the football field.
Legend is.
Kudos to that.
Beauty's an eye.
So, I know I got a couple data points because I know that's what you're big on. The big thing for me, and you guys were high-level athletes, but Bobby Petrino's 10-10 in his last 20 games at U of L. And a lot of those games are with Heisman-winning Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
So if you're only 500 and for 16 of those games you got Heisman-winning Lamar Jackson, there's a problem. And it's my opinion is it's not necessarily in the numbers. It's in the way the players perceive what's happening to them. Halfway through the third quarter, the guys are happy, they're smiling, they're getting the crap kicked out of them, but they're all okay with it. And nobody's addressing what appeared to be a very happy, very giddy sideline, even though you're getting embarrassed on national television by a team that you shouldn't be getting embarrassed by. Maybe losing, but definitely not getting beat 27-3 by.
Right.
And my issue with Bobby today, and I'm going to call him Grandpa Bobby because since he had grandkids, it seems like he's lost that edge.
I got grandkids too.
Huh?
I got grandkids too.
Yeah, and I'll say this, you're
grandkid.
still an intense guy, but you're not the same intense Marcus Maven you were playing at U of L and trying to get in the league and playing overseas or whatever. You're not the same. You don't have that same level of intensity because you change the way you perceive life when certain things happen. Or you change the way you perceive sports when certain things happen in your life. And I just don't feel like we have the same Bobby with the same fire. I say give him a chance. Like, I'm not saying fire the guy. I'm saying give him the season to see if he can fix it because he always tends to do that. But it's just very frustrating when you're watching your team get beat by 24 points and the guys are cutting up on the sideline.
Let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. I mean, you start off with the point kind of the demeanor of the players, right?
Yeah.
So how about this? Like, I understand your point, and you can sell me on your point of the demeanor. I mean, do you have children?
Yeah, I got 3 of them.
Okay, so when your children don't get their way, i.e., if you think the team is playing harder for Malik Cunningham and not playing hard for a Jawan pass, if your kids decided they're not going to behave because they're not getting the food they want, would you just start buying the food they want and playing the guys they want so they'll play hard for you? Or would you find another way to challenge them?
It's funny you bring that up. I actually have a 4-year-old right now that refuses to eat anything. And after dinner every night has the nerve to ask my wife, hey, I'm hungry. Can I have something to eat? And, that's a great analogy because at the end of the day, you know these kids are competitors. They want to win. And I would try to figure out something that was more valuable to them than being embarrassed on television, whether it is, potential to go to the NFL or opportunity to be in the draft or a chance to have some of these freshmen and sophomores come in and take your spot. Are you really motivated enough to play that you'll actually compete for this job and be more competitive on the field if we think we're going to take your starting spot?
How long has your 4-year-old been doing that?
About 6 months.
Listen, Andy, I appreciate the call. You just made my point perfectly. It took you 6 months to identify that your child, your 4-year-old, is deciding to do what they want to do, you know what I'm saying, or go to another person or try to manipulate the system, right?
Yeah.
Data takes time to collect. 4 games is now data. You can that narrative right there that they're not playing for Jawan and they're playing for Malik. I told you were right to bark at me about it because you said I want to win this game.
Yeah.
Right? And I said, if I look at the film and the film says you dropped 5 passes, you know what I'm saying? And then I had an interception.
Yeah.
Right? Or I punted because, the guy didn't get open or something like that. When you go back and look at the tape and you decide they're not playing as hard for Jawan than they would Malik.
Sure.
I'm taking it up with you guys. I'm saying, no, this is what we're having for dinner. I don't care if you like it. This is what's best for your body. This is what's best for you long term. This is what we're eating for dinner at the quarterback.
Yes.
You have the problem. I'm not putting in a guy, I think I can block better when there's a running quarterback because if he gets past me, then he can create something. No, I'll teach him his job and I'll tell him what he's having for dinner because he has low iron. He's going to eat broccoli. But you are not going to dictate who plays quarterback in my team. That's how you lose a team.
Yes.
More than anything, the mere thought that someone's effort can influence a decision I'm making here. Now, if that crept in the locker room, I'd be 10 times more angry with Bobby Petrino.
And it may be, but with all that being said, I mean, what about Jordan Travis for dinner?
Listen, if you want to do that,
can we try that Saturday?
If you want to do that,
brunch,
I'm okay with it, right?
We'll call it brunch.
Because I let you know a long time ago.
I know
that the brother of a professional athlete.
I know
is different.
I know
they're more professional. They know how to do the game. Listen, and if your one reason for not having him in the game, because listen, this is what we hear people like. We always have to be careful because our inside information, we can't rat people out, right?
Yeah.
Jeez, Brian. Why didn't you just pull the microphone? Why didn't you just send us the break?
What?
I had no idea we missed the commercial. Okay.
No, I looked at him and was like,
no. We're just being accused of something.
The point I was making is if you decide that I want to shrink the playbook now.
Okay.
Jordan can tickle my fancy.
Okay.
Can we take these before we get out of here? Or is Brian going to kill me?
No, you can take them.
Do we need to hit an ID at least? I don't
Go ahead and do this now. We'll just go to break after these calls.
Okay, we'll hit the calls. Keith, thanks for joining us on 93.9, my man. Fire away.
Keith. Is that for Keith?
Yep.
That's it.
Yeah, I blanked out just when you said my name.
That's all right, man.
Good morning, guys. Hey,
morning.
Yes, good morning. Let me start with the defense. I'll move to the offense, and then I'll kind of go where I'm with this.
We got a full line, so you got to fire away.
Yeah, I'll fire quick. First off, the defense, I do think we're making strides, albeit small, but we are dealing with a bunch of inexperienced young guys, so that's going to be par for the course. Even the secondary kind of stepped up a little bit, so I'll give those guys props, albeit not much of improvement, but I see it going the right direction. So Bobby, maybe Bob's in the right defensive coordinator, and those guys are doing something. The offensive side's a debacle, and I think it comes back to, assessing these players, preparing these players, training these players. Those quarterbacks aren't prepared. They're not doing a read. Nothing's going according to what should be at this point for these guys that face, especially Puma. And I'm not going to say the guys are playing for Malik better than they are Puma because they're not. Freaking Dylan dropped that pass right out of the gate, the other day. Right out of the gate. That could have
quite a few.
Tone for the whole thing. Right. So they're not playing for him any better. I come back to the assistant coaches on the offensive side. I don't know who's giving Bobby the information on who should be going in, who should be playing. Why did we rearrange the line, the offensive line? I mean, from the Bama game, they didn't do bad in the Bama game. The only thing that Cole Bentley was having trouble with the snaps. Work on the snaps. My gosh, they were giving him time against Alabama. So I don't think that was. I think like I said the other day, we're in panic mode, and they can't. He's getting bad information. Bobby cannot do it all. He's having to rely on inexperienced coaches in some regards, or people that aren't qualified in my eyes to be where we are. And that
Heads up, the next guy's accusing us of getting paid by the University of Louisville that we're too pro.
Coaching. And I don't know that he's going to get it turned around. I don't think he has the people in place to get the players. I'm not putting this on the players. It's not all on dropping the passes. That's on the players. But beyond that, I think it's a personnel issue, and these guys don't seem to be clear on who they need, where they need them, and the quarterback. It's just a highlighted the quarterback because it's the biggest position on the field. Yep. I'm for Travis coming in, I guess, but I don't even know if that's going to resolve it at this point. No. I just think that's where we're at.
Keith, listen, I appreciate the call. Listen, Keith kind of sounds like who doesn't believe in his staff and doesn't think there's a quarterback that can work this team. I disagree with that, but I started going after the coaching staff a week ago, or the assistant coaching staff.
Yeah.
Like let's. I didn't mean go after. I mean, let's open the blinds. Let's peek into your office a little bit.
Yeah, that there was something going on.
Yeah,
there.
the relationship between your assistant coaches and your staff. Let's open. But that's another thing that takes time to see. Frank, thanks for joining us on 93.9, my man. Fire away.
Gentlemen, I haven't called since you two jumped down my throat with steel-toe stilettos when I said that our coaching staff was way too inexperienced and not very good back in the summer. I would like to say this, to give Bobby Petrino credit for removing Sermon, who he hired, with a guy like what we have now, is saying we're no longer in a dumpster, we're now in a garbage can. Bobby Petrino should get respect for that. I don't think so. He created the problem. 3 defensive coordinators in 3 years. Our quarterbacks don't know what they're doing. His son is the quarterback.
Wait. One at a time. Did you think Grantham should have been fired when he was fired?
I don't think Grantham should have been fired and then replaced with one of the statistically worst DCs in the country, paying him at $900,000 when no one else was bidding against us to get him. No, it's ridiculous. And then we had to, we went down like 6 or 7 defensive coordinators before we found one who nobody wanted, who's now on our team. And to say that, oh, wow, the defense is doing better, it's easy to go from 100 to 85. I mean, it's just ridiculous to give Bobby Petrino credit for that. Having said that, even the Courier-Journal pointed out, we have one of the youngest coaching staffs in the country. One of your fellow colleagues locally said something that was very astute and I've never heard before. He said that our coaching staff is so young and inexperienced. Not only is Bobby Petrino coaching players, he's also spending a heck of a lot of time coaching coaches as well. So I think this is a problem with nepotism. I think this is a problem with the experience.
Wait a minute. So you would be okay with bringing in another young, inexperienced coach then, right?
Oh, heck no. We're U of L. We have money. We can get some experienced people who aren't related to Bobby Petrino. We don't need Fredo. What we need to do is do like Dabo Swinney. We have a top 10 coaching salary in the country. We're in the top 10. We can afford to get guys who used to be former head coaches. I mean, a lot of these teams that you're seeing with success in the Big Five, and I'm not talking just Alabama, Ohio State, Oregon. I'm not just talking about those guys. Most of the guys in the top 25 who are paying their coaches a lot less than us have former head coaches. And don't say Van Gorder because that wasn't really a head coaching situation.
But you see, every argument you make, you're making these disclaimers that I mean, like,
no, I'm not.
Give me your idea.
I will tell you, fire all the assistants, get experienced assistants. Period. No qualifications, right there.
Appreciate the call. Listen, I'm not arguing with opening the curtain on assistants, but I won't say. What if your best assistants are the ones that are family and the other ones that are not family are your worst assistants? The ones that are getting the criticism are not the quote-unquote nepotism hires. That's a fact.
Well, I don't know. I mean, the quarterback right now, I think is
that's a terrible one.
Yeah, it's like
that's your biggest.
Yeah, that's one right now. That would be.
But again, we still go back to did we determine that Puma was playing absolutely bad?
I mean,
Or it's just not.
they're not playing good.
To me, the chemistry's not right.
That could be it.
More than just bad play. I think the coaching, quarterback, play call, line chemistry, is not working.
It's fair.
We got it. We'll break. Yeah, we'll break just so I don't get in trouble too much. Midday with Marcus Maben, 8150. 93.9 is the number on 93.9 The Bill.
Hi, I'm Circuit Court Judge Derwin Webb. In 1959, as
Middays with Marcus Maben on 93.9 The Ville is broadcasting live from the OPC Pest Services studio. Now, here's Marcus Maben and Steve Rummage.
Welcome back. Welcome back. It's Midday with Marcus Maben, 8150. 93.9 is the number. 93.9 is the station. Big shout out. Derek Stewart with the instrumental comeback is going to prevent my YouTube channel from being shut down, people. We owe him a big thanks. Good looking out, Brian Hall. YouTube.com. We are made for the Ville. Subscribe. We need an
Submit your own. We'll play yours.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If you want, like, we're all about the city. You guys know that. So I mean, if there's local artists around that makes tracks like Derek Stewart makes right here, send them in, man. We'll give you shout outs. And
Derek, how much that beat cost?
That was good, man.
Because I'm gonna just buy it. I'm gonna buy it and mumble rap this thing and make $1 million.
This is good.
I'm gonna just mumble rap it real tough, right?
Yeah. Now I can't. I need more like blues right now.
What?
No, this is good, man.
What?
That's good stuff, man.
Steve, you are surprisingly upbeat for a Massacre Monday that I was expecting when it came here. I thought I was going to have to bark at somebody on air. It turns out I got to bark at people I work with. But it's neither here nor there.
That was funny.
Point being, yeah. Steve, here we are. What if I told you, and I'm not going to do this, people, but this is a fact. What if I told you that your basketball team just landed probably a top 3 recruiting class in the country?
Well, it is 3 right now.
Right?
Yeah.
What if I told you 1 hour into the show, right, 115,
122.
This far into the show, you would just be mentioning, oh, yeah, we also happen to get a top whatever 2-guard from the city.
From Louisville, baby.
Joining your already number 4 basketball class.
Max getting it done, man. I mean, look, this is one of those where I do not feel bad about talking a little bit of basketball in September.
See, I kind of like the pain of the football right now.
No, I do too. But, I mean, it's a top 3.
I know.
Class.
What if I told you Chris Mack came in and landed a top 10 recruiting class?
And has a 5-star big man coming in this weekend.
I don't think we'll get him.
For an official visit.
You have a, I know I hear it too. You have a Louisville Live event.
Yeah.
That could possibly be a college game changer.
Yeah.
A top 3-4 recruiting class in basketball.
Yeah.
A coach who was just a guest celebrity coach at possibly the best player in the NBA. Our coach was a guest coach at his event.
I know. He's out here hanging with Kevin Durant.
Chris Mack this weekend, while you were sorrowing over a Virginia game, Chris Mack was coaching alongside Kevin Durant.
Yeah.
Who I may add is a big homie, so to speak, of one Cole Anthony.
And one Aiden Nagahan.
That's what's going on while I'm kicking television screens and listening to people tell me how this program just needs to blow up. And why? And what? How about this too? Speaking of bad moods, right?
Yeah.
I heard you people. I got all of your DM comments about how one Jaquay Savage tweeted that you should blow the clean house, right? I don't even. Do you have his particular tweet?
No.
Because I wanted to just kind of address this because there's people who call in and say we're getting paid by the university, like we're purposely changing narratives.
I wish I was
getting paid.
I'm an awful big homer to not be making any money.
I wish I could do it. So here's the thing.
There it is.
I got bombarded with even the Louisville players, even the former players are saying Bobby Petrino. You got the tweet?
Yeah.
I'm listening.
It's just too much. It's too much talent on that field to be losing like that. I know how to solve the whole situation, but you might not want to hear it. Hashtag clean house.
Jaquay Savage, a former player, said clean house. And in the world we live in, people, I'm gonna just let you glance into my world. I get tagged in that tweet, right? I get inboxes to my Facebook in that tweet. And everybody's saying the same thing. Even former players, right? So before I even see it for myself, all I'm hearing is former players are bombarding on blow the system up. Did you hear about that, people? I just want to know. I want to know this right now. I know what they're saying.
I'm curious.
Okay, if anybody who got the word that the former players were revolting on Bobby Petrino, I got to be honest. I remembered the news and remembered the Jaquay Savage, but I just typed in the name real quick.
Mm-hmm.
I found an article about the guy who just told me that Louisville needs to blow up. You listening, Steve?
I'm listening.
The guy who needs to, the former player that says Louisville needs to blow this thing up. Found an article, none other than our local Courier Journal.
Okay.
And I'm gonna read this quick, people. This is a very well written article. It's quick. Let me give credit really quick. I'll give credit at the end. Steve Jones. Now listen to this, people. This is who smart guy thinks we should blow it up. University of Louisville senior wide receiver Jaquay Savage announced on Twitter Tuesday evening that he'd be transferring from the Cardinals for his final season of eligibility. Savage, a former 4-star recruit out of high school, transferred to U of L in 2014 from Texas A&M. Then spent the past 2 years primarily as a backup. Had he stayed at Louisville, he almost certainly would have begun fall camp no better than second on the depth chart. Savage earned his bachelor's degree from U of L past spring. He was presumably could transfer to another FBS level school without sitting out. Savage's transfer from the Aggies to the Cardinals was celebrated by U of L fans, me being one of them, I might add. He never made a major impact at Louisville. He made no catches while battling injuries in 2016. In 2015, he played 9 games, including 6 starts, caught 12 passes for 135 yards and 1 touchdown. Savage, who legally changed his name from Jaquay Williams after coming to Louisville, was committed to Auburn and ranked in the nationals number. He was ranked in the nation's number 90 recruit in 2012. Class out of Sandy Creek High School in Tyrone, Georgia. He then spent a year at Fort Union Military Academy in Virginia and remained a 4-star prospect when he signed with Texas A&M. Do you think people who retweeted that and sent that to me realized that when they were reading even former players are turning on Bobby, did they realize he was a guy who went to another university, transferred to Louisville, did not play, was injured, graduated, then transferred away, and instantly became the face of the Bobby Petrino revolt? I'm going to say this on air one more time because Steve is sick of hearing me say this. So keep doing what you're doing, Steve. And let me tell everybody, let me apologize to you, to everybody right now. I've been saying this to Steve. I hate sounding like a Bobby Petrino apologist, but I can't help being in the mood to talk about the facts. Nobody knew that. Nobody knew he was a transfer in and never played. You know why? Because once a guy transfers in and he starts getting injured and not playing, you forget about who he is.
Yeah.
So, but when you hear former players, that's a misnomer. That's a narrative. That's a trap narrative. That's a former player. Savage, I remember that name. You know, yeah. He says Bobby should go. He knows what he's talking about. And this is no shade at him. But when you say those details out loud, that part's not in the tweet. And I get bombarded with people saying I'm wrong because a former player of Bobby Petrino says it's time to blow up the whole thing.
Yeah, I mean, no, your point's valid there. I mean, I don't know. I never really, not just in this situation, really in any situation, do I ever really buy into former player talk, against a coach, because I think there's a lot of stuff goes on you don't know anything about, in a player's
right. What's going on?
there.
So it's not shade to him. It's just know the situation before you tell me that I'm wrong because the player said it. Steve, I know you had to know about this.
What?
Willing to sacrifice a football bowl game?
The bowl season to the sports gods for U of L basketball rebuild and rebirth. Well, it's being rebuilt well. What if they go out and lose the first game?
I was gonna say we haven't determined that a rebuild is really even necessary.
Break the press table. I'm going to take off running.
We're supposed to be sad right now, Steve.
And I'm going to jump.
They need sorrow out of us, Steve. You're not sticking to script.
If they lose the first basketball game, I'm going to take off running, and I'm going to jump as high as I can off a chair, and I'm going to jump straight through the press table and let Xavier Burrell take me out in handcuffs.
First of all, did you just give security's first and last name?
Yes.
Second of all,
he's all over my Facebook.
Second of all, what would make you react in such a rage, Steve?
If we lose our first, after all this hype, after everything I've been to,
You realize this recruiting class is not coming in this year.
No, I don't care. There's talent there. If they were to go out and go 0-1.
What if they lost to Simmons? Kevin, thanks for joining us on 93.9, my man. What's on your mind?
Oh, man. Boy, I should pull up the tape from last week. I sound like a prophet.
I'm listening.
Did I say something about people putting too much stock into this energy and stuff, and what happens when Malik's out there and he's trying to be Lamar and he's not making the passes? That's what I was thinking about the whole time when we were throwing. He kept throwing swing passes. That's all only passes he was a tip, a swing pass out of the backfield and stuff like that. I just wish that we could do a whole rewind and go back and Petrino handled the media and the crowd better and just been like, you know what?
So you don't like the humble pie we got to eat right now.
I ain't eating nothing because I tried to tell y'all. Everybody's talking about all this energy. Oh man, all the radio shows, and I did something I normally don't do because you guys are the ones I listen to. But I had a little time while I was working, so I would get on iHeart and I listen to the afternoon shows, and everybody had all these narratives and pontificating, like, just the easy fix, all this energy. And then the main thing that I just kept hearing in the back of my head was Charlie Strong talking about fake juice.
So you don't think this can be fixed?
It can be fixed, but you need to do a reboot. You need to go back and be like, you know what? Indiana State game, it was a monsoon. It wasn't fitted for the cyber style that we was playing with Jawan, so we went with Malik in that situation. Not because Jawan wasn't moving the ball and stuff like that, because that set up the narrative. And then the second game, admit that you pulled the man too soon, that there was drops, and we need to fix the drops with those receivers and not put it on him, because what you do is you set everybody up to think that this is the reason why we weren't doing that, and then you put in the guy that's supposed to do something that you thought we were doing, and we still ain't doing nothing. So, but you wouldn't have that situation if you hadn't set it up like it was a quarterback failure in those two instances. Just walk it all back because he created this problem. If you go back to like I said, back in the day when Trino first came, you had Brian Brown, Bush.
So when you say create a problem, do you mean make a bad decision, or What is the problem he created?
He created the problem by panicking and seemed like he's listening to the radio and doing what people are saying to do instead of, unless he just doesn't know. I mean, you can go back, like, say, for instance, nobody sees these guys play. We see little clips on YouTube and stuff like that and think we know everything, just like Steve's in there talking about Jordan Travis, sight unseen. We went to see Juwan pass one game when we played Auburn. We got down early, went over in Atlanta, watched him play. I thought he threw a nice ball, but his offensive line was terrible. He got sacked a bunch. He was running for his life. You really couldn't tell nothing. But in the spring game, that was my first time I made a point to go to the spring game to see what I could see. And I thought that he locked on receivers too much in the spring game, just like one receiver. But, I hope that we get better. But I'm not for sure he's the man or not. But at the same time, Petrino, he feeds into this whole, he lets it get out of control by being so sporadic, jumping so quick. It wasn't his fault in that second game. We had 3 hours worth of rain delays. You keep starting and stopping. It's raining. Just say, hey, we had this other guy. He was more a runner. That was safer than trying to pass and blah, blah, blah.
I hear you.
Do that. Don't make it. Because if you look at that game Saturday, the main thing that's wrong with Jerron Pass is his confidence. He's guiding the ball instead of throwing it. He wasn't letting it whip.
And that's what Petrino's is messing up his confidence.
That's a confidence issue.
No, Kevin, man, I got to move along, man. I appreciate the call.
I didn't hear anything he said.
Because,
I'm still living in the hell of us losing to Simmons College.
Steve, you can't listen.
I didn't.
You can't check out of sports radio because you having nightmares and flashbacks.
No, I'm living that moment.
No, I know you are.
And I don't want to just throw Simmons under the bus. It's just an exhibition game.
You're not allowed to do that. I mean, to replace substitute Bellarmine in there.
Now that, maybe I will say Simmons then, because Bellarmine, I'd be like, Sky D's.
No, you would. You're a liar. Don't turn me into that guy in his face, Steve.
I've got us 0-3 starting the season.
Right, in basketball.
Yeah.
Negative creeps in.
We're done.
Samson, thanks for joining. And Kevin, I'm going to get back to that point. Samson, thanks for joining us on 939. Fire away.
Hey, what's up, fellas? Man, I just got one comment as far as something that bothers me, and I'm not like fire the coaches or everything like that. But I just noticed something, and I'm the biggest diehard Louisville fan, man. But and I know it's probably a sarcastic smile, but to see like the Bobby on the sideline, we get the ball on the side, we can't punch it in. He's just kind of like smiling, like, like I don't know what to do. And then you have Stoops getting after guys when they're up by a couple of touchdowns, and looks like they got the game in hand. He's still on the field screaming at his players, got that fire in him, man. There's a big comparison there between the two coaches.
You realize less than 1,000 days ago, Bobby was choking the life out of Stoops, right? Like you do realize that not much time has passed between your coach whose snarky smirk was choking the life out of that. So you're saying he turned Stoop into a hard coach now?
No, I just think that it's just a comparison, man. Like I would like to have the choking, but I'm not to be like just go choke somebody, but it just doesn't feel like he's I don't know if he just gave up, if he doesn't know how to fix it. I mean, you ask me, man, start this week. I know they switched everybody out, but man, everything's fresh. Freshman, whoever you are, no spot guaranteed. I don't care. I mean, you gotta fix. I just don't know what the fix is. They got the talent. If you got the talent and the kids aren't producing, the only thing I can think of is either A, the kids have checked out, they're done, and you've lost your team, or it's the coaching.
So what do you think about my theory that they didn't practice full contact enough because Bobby just thought they would be able to step up their game when they got to the season?
I mean, that's got to be, you're going to produce on the field what you do in practice. So if he's going to say, you got to practice harder. Well, yeah, man, you should have been practicing hard since the end of last season.
I'm not saying practice hard. I'm saying go full contact, risk more injuries.
That's something that I think, yes, that is a gamble. But at the same time, you can't soft it up and then go out on the field and just expect. I mean, it's not, I get it, you're trying to get these guys up at the NFL and all that, but you got to get them reps in. You got to get hit. You know what I mean? Nope. And I understand you take a chance of injury, and that's obviously our defenses. I mean, we got injuries all over, but It's just they just seem soft. They're like, if it doesn't go their way, they just put their heads down and that's it. You know what I mean? And I'm not the one to call out players ever because I don't play the game, but I just don't know how you fix it, man. And it's got to start on the practice field, but it should have already been done on the practice field. Now we're coming up week 5, and we're a 5.5-point dog against FSU. Like, come on, you know what I mean? But like I said, I'm go Cards all day till I die, man. I'll be at that stadium even if we're 2-6. You know what I mean? But man, it's gonna be rough. It's gonna be rough, man, unless they can fix this thing. And I just say, open everything up, give everybody a chance, even the young guys. I don't care. I know they've been doing that, but man, nothing's guaranteed. You know what I mean?
Right.
And your spot's not guaranteed. If you don't practice hard and put the effort out there and get your discipline and your act together, then I'm sorry, man. Go sit the bench.
Right. So, no, Samson, I appreciate the call. You made a comment about we're talking about perspective here. You said, man, we're 5-point dogs against FSU. Man, right? I mean, here it is. Kentucky's ranked number 17. Well, guess what? Louisville was ranked at the beginning of last year. And you know what people said? Bobby, if he can't get over the hump this year, man, he got to go. Think about this, Steve.
No, I know, yeah.
You're at 17. This was the most miserable football fan base you ever seen in your life.
Well, I mean, the standards here in Kentucky are a little different.
I know, but it's the attitude.
I don't want to compare the two.
No, listen. I got a call this morning, probably about 7:30. A guy who's a great judge of character.
Yeah.
He said the same thing, and I'm like, no, it's not the comparison. It's the attitude and perspective that you can that you can have when you're winning 2 games,
right?
Versus coming off a loss. You know what I'm saying? You could have the same record. Like if you lost those first 2, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And then won 2.
Yeah.
Still lost the same game, still winning. Okay, now we got it together.
Yeah.
But I do agree with you. It is tough when you watch a sticker. I want to reset that. Steve, at the beginning of the show, I asked you a question.
Okay.
How do you feel this morning about your football team and its performance on Saturday?
Mm-hmm. I feel like it was pathetic. Yeah.
Listen, I want to purge your thoughts right now.
2 hours into the show or an hour and 43 in, I feel like it was pathetic.
It was pathetic.
Yeah. And if I ever subject my eyes to anything along those lines again, I will claw them out.
Do quick rankings.
Okay.
Coaching staff last.
All right.
Quarterback.
The quarterback play's not good. I mean, they both threw.
So
picks.
what do you say? C minus?
Yeah.
C minus.
No, probably a D.
D quarterback play.
Yeah.
Running backs.
I mean, it's an unfair ranking because I don't know. They don't get to play long enough for us to find out anything. I don't know. I mean, an F. They're not running the ball worth a crap, but I mean, I don't know if that's their fault.
Offensive line.
They've been a C.
Wide receiver core.
C minus. Yeah. Yeah, they've not been good.
Defensive line.
Probably a C plus. I mean, I think they get some push.
Defensive backs.
Probably a C in general.
Coaching staff. Offensive side and defensive side separate.
Defensive, I'd actually give the defensive side a C plus. The offensive side, I would give a D. Yeah.
Really?
Minus.
I was gonna say what?
Yeah.
What's an F?
You don't score.
Steve.
Any points.
You don't get a D minus for a field goal that you only get because they intercepted it.
Okay.
I will not let you give.
Fire them all. I don't care.
No.
I just want to win.
I won't let you give a nice D minus.
I don't think there's nothing nice about that. I mean, when have you ever got a D minus and been like, heck yeah?
In college, when you're trying to get out of college, and you're trying,
dang right I did,
and you're trying to get one of them credits, and you take that class pass fail, and you get that D minus, you'll be like, I'm graduating, baby. I mean, stats.
Yeah. No. It was bad all around, man. And I'll be interested to hear what Bobby's got to say today. I don't know that you'll hear a lot.
There's nothing he can say.
Because, you've got to go through practice.
I hate being that guy, too. It's like one of those things, like, there's nothing he can say that makes me feel like he gets it.
No.
Or he doesn't get it.
No.
Like, that, like it's one of those, I'm so, like, you have to be so insulated from public opinion that I hope you just wrote something down on a piece of paper, and you're just gonna
move the receiver positions around, play Jordan Travis, and let's go. See what we got.
Okay, let's do that at the end of the show. 8150-939, 3831-939. Are you seriously ready to go Jordan Travis? Like with all your heart and decision making, are you ready to go Jordan Travis?
I mean, kinda, but I think for me that's the little desperation mode that I'm like, give him a shot. No, I don't think it's a big desperation. I mean, my God, if you watch the quarterback play, I mean, I don't think that's like jumping off a ledge.
On one hand, you say he's hitting guys and they're dropping it. On the other, you're saying,
yeah, but I mean, in the same breath, he threw it straight to the other team. Both of them did. Pumas was just real bad. I mean, so I think.
Listen, I can be convinced.
Yeah,
I can be.
I think give him a go of it. Let's see what
See, like I said,
but I think you need to make other changes. I think there need to be changes to how the wide receivers are used. Why do we not throw a deep ball to Seth Dawkins? Have we thrown one deep ball to Seth Dawkins all year? I'll answer. No.
Who else has gotten a deep ball?
Nobody. Jalen is it. And catching them is not exactly his forte at the moment. So I don't know why we don't go deep.
When you say that, does your brain say, is everybody else that slow? Or does somebody else not know the position? Or does Jalen Smith not know everybody else's positions? Because listen, the reason I asked that, slightly rhetorical, slightly experience-based, right?
Uh-huh.
Anybody who ever played for Denny Crum, you know good and well, if you ever admit to Coach Crum that you know how to play the forward spot, good night.
You're playing
it. Right? That's a fact, Steve. Mm-hmm. Right? I was guarding a guy named Kaspers Kambala because my dumb self decided when all our big men got in foul trouble, I said, hey, Coach, I know the offense right there.
Yeah.
You idiot.
Yeah.
I'm out here guarding a 7'1", first, top 10 pick.
Yeah.
At the forward spot, posted up against this guy because I told Coach I know the play. The point I make here is if Jalen Smith is sitting in there talking about, I just can't get it. Do I? When you call Louisiana, that means I go right. No, Jalen, Louisiana left. That's why we get a big L letter.
Right.
Oh, darn it, man! I always be forgetting that, Coach.
I know.
Just you got to put me back out of the X spot. I just can't get it. Is that what's going on in there?
I don't know what's going on, but we need to rearrange what's going on.
Brian Hall, we got something special for today.
Oh, we do. We got some Forrest Whitaker here first. Well, no, this is Uncle Sam. I'm sorry, Uncle Sam.
That's my.
Ali.
We gonna talk about this.
Okay. I wanted to do Picture Me Rolling, but you already took Picture Me Rolling too. So, like, which one do I get? Can I have one or the other? You don't get both. One or the other. All right, but we're doing this for Globe Auto Sales. Globe Auto Sales at 5705 Bardstown Road, 502-708-2886. And that's out in Fern Creek. You can visit them at globeautosonline.com. Kenny and the guys out there will take care of you. There's about 50 cars out on his lot. If he doesn't have it, he will find it for you. My experience out there has been great. My car is wonderful. Your guys' cars are wonderful. If you are looking for a car, get out to Globe Auto Sales. But this is around the globe with Globe Auto Sales. And we're going to do a top 25 scoreboard update. We're going to check in on a couple teams. I wanted to kick it off in the ACC. Obviously, Clemson, number 7, gets the decisive 49-21 win over Georgia Tech.
Good for Clemson and their beautiful quarterback.
Yeah, and now they're making. No, I don't know if you saw the news. They're making a change today.
Oh, you're dang right they are.
Yeah, they're making that change
because they got an Adonis. He is the sexiest man
Yeah,
on the
you got
planet.
It, sunshine. You got it,
And
sunshine.
he's the starting quarterback, and he's awesome.
Yep.
And it makes me want to punch myself in the face.
Yep. Can't wait to play them.
Sorry.
Anyways,
Back to
Miami,
your score.
number 21 Miami, 31-17 over FIU. Solid win for Miami. Here's the one that I wanted to talk to you guys about, though. Virginia Tech, 35, Old Dominion, 49.
I did see that.
Yes. This is number 13 Virginia Tech going down by 14 to Old Dominion.
I guess Virginia Tech, you win our It Could Always Be Worse award.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it could be. But there's a lot of top 25 teams that went down. One that did not.
Right.
One that did not, though, was Alabama. Alabama won 45-23 against Texas A&M. Sorry, Jimbo Fisher. Alabama continues to roll. Big one I wanted to talk about, Purdue. Boston College, number 23 Boston College. Purdue wins 30-13.
Told y'all.
Brom, top 25 victory.
Good. At this point, I need anybody to be good.
Yeah.
Because nobody's that good.
No.
We just need somebody to win.
We got to get better.
In the ACC.
Yeah.
Outside of Miami. Miami and Clemson.
ACC was crap. Those are bad.
They've been crap. 3 out of 4 weeks.
Yeah, that was bad.
Number 17 TCU goes down 16-31 to Texas.
Texas is back.
They are back.
Yeah.
Hey, Army gave a scare to Oklahoma. Number 5, 28-21. Oklahoma did pull off the win.
Nobody's good.
That's a solid performance for Army. 7-point game.
It's a fact.
Yeah.
All
So
right.
now let's go out to the Big 12. We got number 15 Oklahoma State going down 17-41 to Texas Tech.
Thanks, Oklahoma State. I would have won $150 on a 3-team pleaser. And these jackwagons going to get busted. Idiots. I hate Oklahoma
I just
State.
hear Steve Rummage say 3-team pleaser?
I am pulling against Oklahoma State for the rest of the year.
Is this what this gambling life is turning you into, Steve?
I don't know what I'm turned into lately.
Number 7 Stanford pulls off the 38-31 victory over number 20 Oregon.
Craziest ending of the week.
Pretty good game right there. That was a fun one to watch if you didn't. And, I guess we'll end it with...
Aaron, if you hurt, get off the field. Sorry, Brian.
It's okay. You can keep talking if you want. Kentucky won 28-7 against Mississippi State.
Don't
Okay.
care. I had no
And
breath
so
for
that
that.
concludes our top 25 scoreboard update. And with Globe Auto Sales, if you're looking for a car, be sure to get out there at Globe Auto Sales. That's 5705 Bardstown Road or GlobeAutosOnline.com. How about that, right?
I like
that. That was right as the beat ended, and I didn't even do that on purpose.
I like that.
What beat was that, Brian?
That was Uncle Sam Goodim.
Brian,
I can't actually say the first part, so it's Goodim.
Are you aware?
Do you got a cashier conversation?
And it is
today?
a Brother Ali.
Pull that up. Do we have the
do you want the cashier conversation too, or do you want to picture me rolling?
No.
Or do you want-
Hurry up. We still got to get one.
Hit the cashier conversation real quick. I think we can get one of these in real fast.
It's be awesome, people.
Because I had a good one. So, okay, just whenever you're ready.
You talk too much. Never shut up. I said you talk too much.
I needed this.
Oh boy, you never shut
This
up.
is awesome, people.
This is a good one.
Time now, cashier conversation.
Here it is.
Man,
what are we talking about?
Cashier conversation.
Straight cash, homie.
Chitty
Sounds familiar.
On middays with Marcus Maiden.
Chit chat.
So, people, when we do this little thing
And your
called
Globe Auto
cashier
Sales,
conversation, this is what we do. We set up a narrative, then we talk over it. People, we have talked about copyright infringement all day long, all week long. Copywriting is important to pay attention to. This cashier conversation was the best thing I had going in my radio life.
Sure.
Is this what shut you down?
It had an original, nice little beat to it. Put together. I talk about things that go on in the city. I talk about hanging out with Dwayne's dad and him accusing me of being paid by the school. I came in today, and if you're on the YouTube channel, you would have saw my lovely Applebee's hat. They paid really well for me to wear this because they knew this was going to be a awesome show on our videos.
So can I use Picture Me Rolling then? Because you like to use Picture Me Rolling
Brian,
too.
we're in the middle of my cashier conversation.
Oh, sorry. I thought I was part of the conversation.
Let me just be great. So people, I don't know what I'm going to do. I might have to change the cashier conversation song.
No, we'll change Globe Auto.
It is no longer acceptable to have my nice rhythmic blues beat. You like this beat, don't you, Steve?
That's good.
I love it. What if I pick another Brother Ali song?
People, thank you for helping me get through this day.
Yes.
Because I didn't know if I would make it.
We needed this.
I feel like I got sabotaged at a couple places today.
Louisville Live on Friday.
I got through it. David Johnson, let me tell you this, player. One day, when you're old enough, you're going to be in a restaurant. You're going to have a cocktail. It's going to be right in front of you. You're going to be older. You're going to be chilling. The waitress is going to bring you the same cocktail, right? And the waitress is going to say, yeah, this is from somebody that didn't want to be identified. David, is from me. I was reeling after that Virginia loss. I owe you a drink, young fella.
Yep.
You'll never know who it came from.
Yep.
Just remember, on September 24th, the year of our Lord 2018, Marcus Maben has guaranteed that one day he will buy you a drink because what you did for his Sunday or his Saturday, you saved it.
I'll buy you
His
whatever you
Saturday,
want. I'll buy you
Sunday.
whatever you want.
Now go out there and go 0 for 6.
Legal, illegal, I don't really care at this point.
I'm going to take that drink back so fast.
Whatever you want.
Actually, I'm going to send you my bill.
You saved my life on
He
Saturday.
did. He did, man.
Man,
He did.
my son played well. By the way, their team, man, they're 5-1. Pleasant Grove Dolphins.
Say that name again.
Pleasant Grove Dolphins. My son's team, 5-1. Moving up. Ranked number 4 in the state. I have the rankings right here. I'll show you after the show. Seriously, they're ranked 4th in the state. Come on.
5 teams, Steve.
5 teams? 1,000 teams in the state.
Who do they know in
They're
the
behind
state?
3 Louisville teams.
Go figure. You need to stick them in the Louisville team, Steve.
Yep.
I told you that. Step up the competition.
All right.
Clay Matthews, stop tackling people. You're not allowed to tackle.
I'm done. Would you close this show? I'm ready to go.
No, I'm enjoying it.
We'll wait till tomorrow.
I didn't write. Have somebody tell you everything we're going to talk about tomorrow. 8150 939 is always the number. 3831 939 is always the text line. YouTube, we are made for the Ville. It's always a channel. 939.
Ever dreamed of winning $1 million from the Kentucky Lottery? Well, your dream might just come true when you play the new scratch-off ticket 100 times the cash. Top prize is $1 million. 100 times the cash will be making lots of people in Kentucky happy with more than $100 million in total cash prizes and over 500,000 winners between $50 and $5,000. 100 times the cash from the Kentucky Lottery. And please play responsibly. Remember, it's just a game.
Chances are you've recently talked about it, or thought about it, or might even be thinking about it right now. You're thinking it's time to upgrade your vehicle, and boy, do we have the place for you. Globe Auto Sales. Family owned and